This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust that you will consider this your vitamin or supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you download podcasts, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom? Leave a rating and a brief written review would be so helpful. And best of all, please spread the word to your friends and neighbors to listen to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. I'm going to entitle today's The Power of Time, number 2. So if this is the first time you listened, you might want to listen to the one right before this, because this is a continuation and a finishing up on the subject of time management, which we've already realized there really is no such thing as time management in and of itself. It's really life management, and even more importantly, it really boils down to being self-management. The management of your time increases your value in life. You'll be more valuable even in your family when you have managed your time. And when you do manage time better, you even have more free time, so-called, but free time that you can spend with the people that you love. But if you're able to get things done, get projects done, especially under budget and on time or on early, you increase your value to the organization where you work. And one of the other things about time that I want to make sure that you hear, I'm not just talking about managing time for its own sake and managing it for you, but for the fact that your reward will be in your service to others. You need time to be able to serve in your organization, serve your family, serve others, as well as to accomplish the things at work. Everything that you or I accomplish or that we fail to accomplish always reflects back on our use of time. We either didn't allot enough time for what the project was, what the item was, or we procrastinated and we, as everyone says, we wasted time. But wherever you feel that you have failed in something, oftentimes, if not all of the time, it really points back to the improper use of time or the not budgeting the correct and right amount of time. When you learn to manage time well, there are some things that are developed. Let's look at the developmental aspect of time or self-management and the power that comes from it. When I learned to manage time and take certain steps that we've already talked about on how to get things done, one thing that I noticed early on as I began down that journey of better using my time and utilizing my time is it helped my judgment. By that, I began to look at things that came to me that needed to be done. And because of working on other projects and things and trying to bring them in on time, I learned that I could pretty well, now I can look at something, look at what's required, and I pretty well can judge how much effort, how much time, what all else is going to take. And so time management has really honed my ability to understand and to be able to judge what goes into certain things. So if you're having trouble being able to figure those kinds of things out, I believe if you get a better handle on how to spend and how you do spend your time, it'll give you better judgment. I think it gives me also foresight. By being able to manage time and get tasks done and take care of activities, it gives me foresight where I can kind of see pitfalls that may happen in a given project or a given meeting. I have experience because we have worked with managing time and projects, and it really does give you interesting foresight. You can kind of see there are going to be emergencies. Yes, I think I can get this done in 6 hours, but if something else happens, I better give myself 8 hours. You have the foresight to know because you've had experience and you know what can happen when you begin doing those things. And so it gives you both judgment and foresight. I believe one of the key things that learning to manage your time will do for you, it gives you a tremendous sense of self-reliance, that I can do this. I've done it in the past. I have learned the secrets of managing my time and bringing the resources to bear and just dogging something through, putting my head down and working while I'm working. And it gives you the self-reliance, which also leads to the next thing that I think happens. It gives you confidence. I can do this. I am able to work these things through. I am able to manage my time and the resources, and I can finish these projects. I can do these goals that I've been reaching for, and it gives you confidence. I believe another great aspect of learning the secrets of time management is it gives you a sense of discipline. So many folks' lives are totally undisciplined. Their lives are out of control. And learning how to manage one's time is another way of building in discipline in your life. And everyone needs a little more discipline. And many times you think only a discipline is denying yourself food or exercising, which is great. It is also a discipline. Learning how to deal and manage your time is a great discipline trainer. And then I would say it helps me when I manage my time to learn to be results oriented. I'm not just managing my time because somebody on a podcast told me I ought to do it. I'm doing it because the managing of my time, which is really the managing of my life and really myself, helps me to get the things done that I need to get done. Many people think they're hired because they know something, or they're hired because they have a certain amount of degrees or went to a certain college. You are hired to get things done, and so it will help you get the results done. The other thing that time management helps me, it helps me to work smarter. I just learned through the management of time that there are, I don't necessarily want to call them shortcuts, but batching things, working at certain times of the day when you have higher energy, just learning to equally amounts of time for what I need to do. It's a working smarter. When I learn to manage my time on projects and such, it gives me a feeling of energy. When you begin to accomplish things and begin to tick those items off as you work your way through it, it not only gives you energy, it also gives you a tremendous boost of enthusiasm. You begin to believe in yourself. I really can get this done. If I will just sit down and then map it all out, write it down, commit to doing these 2, 3, 4, 5 things today, and then doing all of the other things. It is amazing the amount of energy and enthusiasm that comes when you learn to manage time. I think another one is you grow as a person. When you can see that you have been able to get those things accomplished, you realize that this is an area that is helping me to grow as a person. I'm a better husband, a better wife. I'm a better son or daughter. I'm a better employer or employee. I'm a better entrepreneur, business owner. I'm better because I'm growing, and I'm learning that if I do the things that I need to get done, there's time to do some of these other fun projects that I've just been waiting and wanting to do. And so learn to manage time, and in essence, you're really learning to manage yourself. That is a way through personal development that you will grow as a person. I think another thing that I would say that has happened in my life as a part of learning to manage myself and my time is I have developed some excellence. I have learned how to do things well. I have learned how to be the best version of me that I can be, and I think that is what we all want to be. And you do that not by just reading a book, although I'm for reading books. You do it by executing the projects you have to get done, doing the tasks that you've committed to, doing the activities that you've committed to, and doing them in a timely manner and not procrastinating and putting them off develops excellent. Do you understand, friend, right now as you're listening to this minute right now is all you and I have. It's all we're promised, and it's all we have. I hope that you and I are both around tomorrow, but we don't really know that. This minute is all we have. Therefore, we must use it wisely. Now, how do you go about implementing all of these things we've talked about the last 2 podcasts on time management? Let me give you 3 things, and maybe one of them will resonate with you and it'll be something you want to do. Today, make up your mind that is there one habit or one activity that if I just improved a little bit in, it could be very helpful and could even change the trajectory of my life. I think you need to sit down to see what that might be, explore the possibilities, and then bring time management to bear on that particular subject. If this is the one area that I need to change, the one habit, the one activity that I need to improve on, then set some time every day for the next month or two. What are the steps I need to take to improve in this area, and how am I going to get it done? The problem is we get overwhelmed and say, I'm going to change these 15 things in my life. And if you set out to do something that preposterous, you will be discouraged within 24 to 48 hours. Focus in on one thing that you're going to change, a habit or activity, that if you were able to do so would make an impact in your life that would be positive and helpful. Focus on that today. That's number one. Number two, everything we do is, some people say, trial and error or trial and fail. I want you to think, as you begin to implement time management principles in your life, don't think of trial and error or trial and failure. Think of trial and success. For my friends, I have learned over my lifetime, it is in the failures of life. It is in the stupid things that I've allowed to happen. It's in the mistakes that I've made. It's in the things that have blown up on me. It is in those failures, as the world would call them, that the seeds of success were birthed. And so don't think of trial and failure or trial and error. Think of trial and success. Because if you've at least tried and it hasn't worked out, you now know one more way that it can't happen. Go to another way of making it. And so just change your attitude and look at it as I begin to make this change in this one habit, this one activity in my life, I'm going to use the trial and success method so that even if it doesn't work out, it's still a success because I now know one other way that it's not going to happen. And then always ask yourself, what have I learned from this? What is the area that I have learned? Because in every failure, in every trial, in every sadness, in everything that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, I have learned invaluable lessons that I'm not sure I could have ever learned any other way. I would not have taken the lesson from a book. I wouldn't even have gone to a seminar. And if I heard someone describe it, I would not have internalized it. So as you seek that change of a habit or an activity, go from trial and success. And I'm going to give you a third and final way that you can make this a part of your life. Teach a course on it. And you're going to say, what? Back when I was in just the beginning stages of learning how to manage time and batch all of my projects and work through my first 1, 2, or 3, or 4 most important, I was asked by a ladies group in Indianapolis, Indiana, to teach a course on time management. I thought, you have got to be kidding. But I was beginning to experiment with it in my own life. I had about 2 months to get ready. I read, I researched, I wrote a course, I prepared beautiful slides. I got up and I made a stem-winding speech and a tremendous presentation on how to manage time. And I have no idea if it helped any one of the ladies who were in attendance. Now, I have never been invited to speak to a ladies group before nor since, but by teaching that one class, the things that I'm talking to you about today and in the last podcast, the things that I taught that day in that class, all have become a part of my life and practices that I do right now. One of the greatest ways to learn is to teach a course. In the responsibilities I have now, every 2 years, I teach a course that helps ministers to be prepared to be ordained. And I have taught it probably 8 to 10 times, and every time I teach that course, I learn something new. Because when you're preparing to teach something, you are in a student mode on steroids. So if there's something you want to get a handle on, find somebody, just tell them you'll teach a class for free, because it's one of the greatest ways of learning something. This is Dr. Ron. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom. Remember the power of time. It'll help you to develop judgment, foresight, self-reliance, confidence, self-discipline. It'll make you results oriented. It helps you to work smarter, gives you energy, enthusiasm. You'll grow as a person. You'll develop excellence. Find one thing you want to change and start working on it. Go from trial and success and then try to teach a course on it. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today this has been a vitamin or a supplement for your heart and mind. And wherever you listen to podcasts, please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom and pass the word around. And this is Dr. Ron saying, until next time, leader, you're doing better than you think you are. Have a great and blessed day.